SABC One Arts and Culture Youth Magazine show Ziyawa last since 2007. She also championed hashtag Black Girls Rising in the Sharpeville Human Rights Precinct. She's also a graduate of Enterprising Women Program. The CEO of Sharpville Foundation, Tsoana Nhlapo, joins us on SA Today as we celebrate Women's Day. Thank you very much for gracing the occasion.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, well, you're starting on a rather a high note by smiling. I can see that you're appreciating this day. But then, how significant should this day be for women in business? Because I see that you have actually been empowering yourself. Instead of continuing to be the face of SABC television programming, you went into study business and you are in charge at the foundation.
Yeah. Look, we live at the times where jobs are scarce, right? So it's only natural that if you really want to survive, you must gravitate towards business. It's not an easy trade, but at least it's something that you can control, you know, with all these retrenchments happening. So yeah, it's better to start there. It will.
Isn't it a deep end of a pool for you? Because some people would say that if you don't know anything about business and if you are not sure, don't get in there, don't do it.
If you don't have a choice, what else can you do? You know what I mean? So I'd rather be at the deep end of anything than to be just outside and waiting for something to come and save me. So I think I did take a plunge and go to the deep end, and I haven't drowned just yet.
So there are many men who complain and moan about challenges in as far as barriers to entry in business is concerned, getting funding in business ownership because you don't have a track record. Even you can't qualify for finance if you don't have a balance sheet that's a year old or so. With you, how are you navigating the process?
The nice thing about me is that I'm in the creative space, so I create. You can create from nothing and have something. This then makes it easier to enter the market. Also, with the Sharpville Foundation, it's about we rely on our history to translate into tourism, and it's also one of the easiest industry to get into. So, as much as there is no they say there is when they do the budget speech, but it never translates to the person on the ground. The sector that I'm in, it's quite easy to get into, unlike when you need these big capitals to have a shop and, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
So sometimes, you know, it's not easy to talk about women on Women's Day and talk about the nice things. Whereas it could seem like we are sweeping under the carpet things that are gruesome, evil, that are befalling women at the workplace and in the world of business. You find that there's a story that has just played now where women were complaining that there's a man who's always asking for sex from them, and sex for jobs, sex for promotions, sex for access to opportunities in the world of business. As a woman who's going through this, what comes to your mind when you have to really speak out about these kind of things?
It's infuriating. I read an article today, Medi Brain, and she was saying that it feels like what her life meant all those years were all in vain. Now that's sad. If somebody who marched in 1956 then looks back at all her lives, because she says she was fresh out of high school when she was part of the campaign, the 1956 march, and now she's over 80 and she says, it feels like I didn't do much. What else can a woman do, you know? And she was doing this in comparison to the wage gap, right, between the women and men who are in the same position. She was saying this about the unemployment. I mean, the unemployment stats came out and the black woman is the most affected. So for her, right, to have been the champion then and still saying it did not translate to what she thought it would, it's really sad for South Africa. It's a very sad case.
You know, it's exasperating for South Africans where, for example, the social ills seem to have driven a wedge between men and women. Because when we talk about serious issues, it seems like it's women crying out against what men are doing to them. And some men saying, we are men of honor, or saying, not in our name. But the men who are doing all these things seem to be very silent, and the rape continues. Just recently, a man buried a woman under his bed in a shed. These things continue to happen perpetually. So then, how does South Africa really try to find ground in bringing an end to these things, besides them being preached at, but nothing really happening?
Look, I'm looking forward to a day when it's the 9th of August and men say we are organizing something to help advocate for the plight of a woman. I mean, today I know of only one group, Kobo Pilong, where guys are organizing a march against abuse and stuff like that. That's the only one that I've heard of today, that men are actually actively standing up and organizing something. To them, it's Bride Day today. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it seems like this is our struggle alone. Whereas the men who say not in our name are only there to respond on Twitter and not doing something actively to show them that really they do believe that not in our name.
You know, Tsoana, before you go, here's another thing that we usually hear, especially in the media industry, and one should not even shy away from asking this kind of question.
Yeah.
There could be a woman out there who's recorded an album that would never see a light of day, a woman who wants a part in a miniseries to appear on TV. And in the arts, for example, any woman who would get an opportunity, she will have to surrender her body to be given those kind of opportunity. What is the industry doing to protect these women who can't even speak out because they're afraid of victimization, whereas women are saying speak out?
Me, I'm done speaking out. What does that help? You know, that's what I'm saying. With men need to take an active role because they're the one. Yesterday, Shoma said something very profound. She says, if beauty is still the key to entry to anything, whether it's industry or but if that door is opened by a woman's beauty, it means that the man still holds the key. So how then are we supposed to be speaking out when you guys are sitting there with the keys? You know what I mean? So for it to change, it really needs to start with you. We've done a lot. We've marched. Hell, women have been marching since 1956. You know what I mean? So now what else can we do? And it's just getting worse and worse. We are dying. We're being raped. We're just living up to you.
So is it going to be business as usual, and are we going to celebrate Women's Day next year and still talk about these things?
I don't know. I should be asking you, what are you planning to do next year differently? You know, what are men actively from now who are watching you and me talking about this thing right now? What are they saying? Okay, my place in helping the situation, this is what I'm going to do actively, as opposed to just sitting at home bragging and say, you know, let the chips fall where they may.
No, it's so sad for us to leave our interview with a question mark. Eh? Let's leave it at that for now. Well, the CEO of the Sharpville Foundation, Tsoana Nhlapo, on this Women's Day. All right, let's take a break, and when we return, the program continues.